In your consumer headlines, is sugar the new tobacco? Right now, health officials are pushing for warning labels on food that contain high amounts of sugar similar to the ones on cigarette packs. But how would that work? NBC's Vicky Nguyen explains.
A chocolate river.
That's the most fantastic thing I've ever seen.
Americans have a sweet tooth. On average, we eat more than 100 pounds of sugar per person each year. That's more than 3 times the recommended amount by the Food and Drug Administration. And it's not just candy, snacks, and soda. Hidden sugars in things like processed food, cereal, salad dressing, and even yogurt are adding to our sugar intake. And in a recent Time magazine article, Dr. Mark Hyman says it's time to treat sugar like cigarettes.
Is sugar the new tobacco?
Sugar for sure is the new tobacco.
He's leading a movement to take the mystery out of what we eat by clearly labeling sugar on the front of food packaging.
We see rising rates of diabetes, of heart disease, of cancer, dementia, all linked to a higher consumption of sugar. And these are crippling America.
Do you think putting something as simple as a label on the front is going to change the way consumers eat?
Absolutely. I think people make choices based on what's on the label. They buy low-fat foods. They buy, high-fiber foods.
Data shows those labels are having an impact. A study looking at 2,300 families' food and drink purchases found that overall calories bought from products required to have warnings dropped by 23%. Overall sugar bought from those foods decreased by 26%. In New York City, as part of the city's Sweet Truth Act, a new rule would require food chains and coffee shops with 15 or more stores in the U.S. to use a warning icon to let consumers know eating too many added sugars can contribute to type 2 diabetes and weight gain. The labels would be mandatory on menu boards and packages for food and drinks with more than 50 grams of added sugar.
This allows New Yorkers to make informed decisions about their health.
And though a growing number of state laws are limiting local government control over food and nutrition, the Big Apple is just the latest to crack down on the sweet stuff. Several cities across the country have implemented sugary beverage taxes. A recent study found purchases declined dramatically in 5 of those cities because of it. And the USDA announced new nutrition guidelines for school meals that include plans to reduce sugar. Food industry groups say labels like the ones New York City will see could demonize certain food products or confuse consumers, and that existing nutrition labels provide enough information for people to make healthy choices.
People have to have choice, they have to know what they're eating, and they have to be clear. And I think Americans should have the right to choose what's good or bad for them.